Hey, Mark Wahlberg here. Check out Transformers Age of Extinction when it hits AMC theaters on June 27th. You're watching AMC Movie Talk.
Hey everyone, welcome to AMC Movie Talk for movie fans. I'm your host, Ashley Mova, and this is the daily show where we give you all of the latest news from the world of movies, plus a little bit of insight into what it all means. Joining us as always is AMC Movie News Editor-in-Chief, John Campea.
Greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to the best damn movie-related show on the internet, coming to you live from the Stream.TV studios here in Hollywood, California. We are so glad you decided to make us part of your day.
Also here, one half of Schmoes Know, Christian Harloff.
I'll just do it, John Lovitz. Hello.
And also here, AMC's very own Miri Jenikin.
Holla!
And last but not least, AMC's MC Movie News Senior Editor, Amy Rose Eisenbach, tongue twister.
Hey there, guys. And before we jump into the news, I wanted to let you know of a cool giveaway we have going on right now. We have a lot of really great films playing in AMC theaters right now, independent movies, and The Rover, starring Guy Pearce and Robert Pattinson, is phenomenal, really well done, slow burn, very interesting, and definitely gets Robert Pattinson away from the Twilight image. He was really good in this movie. So we have 2 signed posters from both of the stars, Pearce and Pattinson. And if you want one of those goodies, simply write us at amcmovietalk@gmail.com, and in the headline write The Rover, and just tell us why you're either looking forward to the movie if you haven't seen it yet, or why you liked the movie, and we will select 2 at random and send you those posters. So good luck.
Good luck, guys. Well, yesterday we discussed reports that Iron Man 3 and Kiss Kiss Bang Bang director Shane Black would be directing a reboot of the Predator franchise. However, Black has since come out and confirmed that the new Predator film would not be a reboot, but rather building on the existing material. In a discussion with Collider, Black said, "Why start over when you've all this rich mythology yet to mine?" John, what do you think of Black's comments?
I'm okay with it. As long as the rich mythology has nothing to do with AVP Requiem or any of that stuff. Look, if you're just talking about Predator and Predator 2, which I actually think Predator 2 is a little bit underappreciated. It pales in comparison to the first one, but I didn't think it was the big bag of crap that a lot of people seem to think it is.
I did.
If you're just going to build off the first 2, fine. I'm okay with it, because I believe you have almost run this well dry with all this attempted crossover idea. And it was a good idea. It was a good idea to try. Just didn't work. But I think we all wanted to see it, and we saw it, and we left. And that's about it. So I think we're done with that. If he's going to build on the first 2, that's cool. I do have to admit, though, I was starting to get after our show yesterday, I was starting to get a little bit excited about the idea of just a reboot, going back to that jungle. Who's going to play the Jesse the Body Ventura role? Who's going to play, I was starting to get a little bit excited about it. This is still cool. It's still Shane Black. I'm still on board. So we'll see what kind of direction they go. Mary, what did you think?
Yeah, I'm more optimistic maybe than you about the fact that they're not doing a reboot, for the simple reason that I think there's a whole generation of kids that are going to see these movies now that didn't see the original. Maybe if it's not a reboot, but actually a sequel or a sequelization, it'll inspire people to go see the original film, which I love very, very much. Also, Shane Black had a small role in Predator.
Yeah, we talked about that on the show yesterday.
Which is really interesting. Yeah. So it's kind of like, oh, okay, well, he's certainly familiar with, the source material from a standpoint that's very unique, having been an actor in the film. And I love Shane Black, and I think, if there's anyone for the job, it's him. So I feel like he knows what he's doing. I have faith in him. I feel like whatever decision he makes, I will support him.
Christian?
What scares me is if they do the Alien vs. Predators, like how far into the future and all that type of stuff, if it's off of Predators. If it's a direct sequel off the first one, then I'm all on board. Because I would like to see a continuation, because we might get a cameo from Dutch. He survived.
Hey,
so it'd be nice to see.
I hadn't even considered that.
That's what I mean. So if we have an Arnold cameo after, if we continue,
get to the chopper.
Right?
Oh, we have to.
Yeah,
we
just something. Well, if you need advice on how to kill it, I can tell you, but I'm not going out there next time.
How have you been hiding that? That was amazing.
so if we do that,
just do the whole show in
as Arnold. But if we continuation from the first one, on board. It's just the rich mythology.
Right, Amy Rose?
This is actually always my preference. I rather continue than just straight reboot it or remake it. I rather continue, and you know, as he was saying, this is a rich mythology, and they took a couple missteps, we'll put it nicely, along the way. And even the really bad ones, like Alien vs. Predator, were still fun if you just have fun with it and realize that it's awful, and like you're supposed to laugh when you're not, you know. But yeah, I have great faith in Shane Black. I mean, he is not only is a great director, but he is one of the best writers on the scene. He's been involved with so many projects people don't even realize.
Yeah, so
the fact that he is passionate about this, had his little cameo in the first one, I have faith in his vision, so I'm gonna optimistically watch it go.
I will say this, I think my favorite line out of any of the Aliens or Predators movies, not Aliens movie, but out of any of the Predators movies, probably comes from that awful Aliens versus Predator movie. That one scene where they're in the pyramid that they found, whatever, and they open that one box, there's all the alien technology, and everybody's freaking out, and the one guy goes, "What's the big deal?" And the dude looks at him and goes, "This is like finding Moses' DVD collection." And I thought it was funny. But now we got you. Going back to the original Predator. What's your favorite line?
Get to the chopper!
I can't quote my favorite line because it's not fit for AMC. But it's Shane Black does it. Some of the entire helicopter scene in the beginning as they're going. Tons of lines you can pull there. And Arnold's at the end. "You one ugly mother." Yeah.
Just please, more.
Mine is Jesse the Body Ventura. Ain't got time to bleed.
So good.
I ain't
got time to duck.
It would be a wasted opportunity if they didn't have Schwarzenegger in this cameo get to the chopper. It'd be a wasted opportunity to not throw
I actually
that
was
in there.
driving once and saw a guy with license plate that was get to the chopper, and I actually took.
Did you follow him?
And speaking of which, Poncho, underrated character.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good call.
Okay, what's next?
Director of The Help and the upcoming James Brown biopic, Get On Up, has just signed on to direct the upcoming film in the event of moon disaster. When Pulitzer Prize-winning author and presidential speechwriter William Safire died in 2009, a speech called In Event of Moon Disaster was discovered in his papers. Written in 1969, this speech was to be read by President Nixon in the event that the Apollo 11 mission to the moon was met with tragedy. Excuse me. That speech is the inspiration for this film, which plays out as a fictionalization or alternate reality of the events. Amy Rose, do you like the concept for In the Event of Moon Disaster?
I think it's fascinating. I'm completely on board with this. I'm a huge history buff, and a time in history like this, I love watching, you know, in film, the growth and evolution of mankind. And it's just fascinating to me how they would have a backup plan if it didn't work out. And, you know, we know Neil Armstrong and Aldrin, and we know facts about that, but like, what if it didn't go well? So that fascinates me. And Taylor is phenomenal. He's a triple threat. He acts, he writes, he directs, and if he's attached to this, I also have a lot of faith that it's going to be really interesting. And I also think he'll make it as historically accurate as he can. So yeah, I'm on board with this. This sounds really fascinating to me.
I'm completely on board with this for a couple reasons. Number one, Tate Taylor.
Yeah.
I remember walking out of my first screening of The Help. It was at the Disney lot. And I walked out and immediately pulled out my phone, and I was under embargo, so I said, I can't say which, but I just watched a movie that reminds me about why I love the movie so much. And that was just something that Taylor was able to give, right? And I'm really looking forward to Get On Up. But the other thing is this has very much of an Inglourious Basterds feel to it, right? This whole thing, it's gonna be historical, but we're gonna reimagine history, something horror. Now, I don't know if some kind of alien's gonna pop up out of the moon, but something's gonna go wrong. And they're going to change history here, and I think that's pretty cool. So I just because Taylor, I'm intrigued, and the story itself, with twisting the history a little bit of Inglourious Basterds stuff in there, I'm on board, Christian.
I'm on board also, because it's Tate's version of Apollo 13, if you will. And so we get to see, I love that. I was going to say Inglourious Basterds as well. I wish they'd do more movies like that, to where this is what could have happened. Like, there's a lot of comics that do the what ifs and
Martin Luther King, Vampire Hunter.
Right. Like,
That's actually.
But there's stuff like that I would like to see. There's so much material there for them to be able to do. Like, what happens? What that meant for us as a country? Does that mean that now the Soviets did it first? Like, who did it first? So there's a lot to explore there. It's an exciting idea.
Rose? Oh,
what does the speech say? Is the question.
Well, what excites me about it is that this isn't just an historical event. This is like one of the most culturally defining events for this country for the 20th century. It's so iconic. everybody remembers One Small Step for Man, One Giant Leap for Mankind. I mean, this was an event that changed the course of history. So it's not just like any historical event. This is one of the biggest.
Yeah.
And I love outer space, so I'm very curious to see what they're going to do. The guy that wrote the script, Mike Jones, this is a blacklisted script, which means it's probably pretty good if it made it to the blacklist. And also, he said that he wanted to do something that wasn't so much Monsters on the Moon, but more Hunt for Red October.
Yeah.
Which I am so into. Yeah. So yes, I'm on board.
They actually find George Clooney floating around out there.
There you are.
Can we throw Brad Pitt, Arrivederci in there too? I'm really into that.
Grazie. All right, folks, we've reached that part of the show for buy and sell. Here's how this works. In front of her, Ashley's got a few other items in the world of movie news. She's going to run them down. And then Miri, Christian, and of course, sitting right beside me, Amy Rose, and we're all just going to say whether we buy it or sell it. So, Ashley, what do we got?
Entertainment Weekly has just published our first official set of images from the upcoming Mad Max Fury Road. The film stars Tom Hardy as Mad Max and Academy Award winner Charlize Theron. Mad Max Fury Road opens in AMC theaters on May 15, 2015. Christian, buy or sell these first images from the film?
Buy. John and I did a mailbag like a month or two ago, and the question of which actors are the ones that you'd always want to go see, and Tom Hardy's my guy. Like, Tom Hardy is the guy. Him and Fassbender are the two actors that I would watch, literally just drink iced tea for 2 hours. I'm like, cool.
Totally.
What are you guys doing next? So him as Mad Max, I think, is the perfect fit. If anyone's going to take over, he plays angry and kind of brooding, but like a survivor so well. And then Charlize Theron. You're shaving her head, and she still looks hotter than she's ever looked. I mean, like, Sinead O'Connor is eating her heart out right now. It's so, I cannot wait. These images look so good. I like the tone so far. Sign me up.
Yeah.
Rose?
Enthusiastic buy. These pictures are amazing, and this film has been really interesting to watch because it's been really under the radar, and finally it's coming back because it was pushed and delayed and all this. And I mean, look at those pictures. You're right.
So
She
cool.
looks gorgeous. I think she is the most beautiful starlet who has a shaved head since Natalie Portman in V for Vendetta. She looks gorgeous. So yeah, the tone looks really cool from this as well. So I'm really excited for it.
Mary?
Yeah, enthusiastic buy as well, and I just wish I could look like that. If I shaved my head and painted my head black, I doubt I would look that good. But anyway, the thing that's so great about these posters, these images, is that it really shows you the kind of world that they're creating, and it's so rich and raw and wild and unbridled, and it has that Mad Max feeling, which is amazing to me because this is a new take on the franchise, but it still feels like a Mad Max movie just by looking at these images. I have to just say quickly that I know it's not a popular entry, but Beyond Thunderdome was my favorite as a child because of Tina Turner. But anyway, I feel like this has all of that giantness. I'm excited.
I gotta buy these images mostly because it feels like Mad Max.
Yeah.
You look at this, it is down to a T. This is the world. And now, of course, it helps that you got the same director back. Of course, that helps a lot. But even if you look at that picture of Hardy, tell me you don't see Mel Gibson in that face.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Tell me you don't see Mel Gibson in that face. I mean, I totally do. So it looks right. It feels right. My anticipation for it's starting to get up there.
He's just an actor that's going to pay so much respect to what Mel Gibson did before.
Yeah.
I think so.
He's going to bring something new to it too. That's why I'm excited.
All right, what's next?
A new poster for the upcoming Denzel Washington film, The Equalizer, has hit the web. Washington plays McCall, a former Black Ops commando who has faked his death to live a quiet life in Boston. When he comes out of his self-imposed retirement to rescue a young girl, Terry Moritz, he finds himself face-to-face with ultra-violent Russian gangsters. As he serves vengeance against those who brutalize the helpless, McCall's desire for justice is reawakened. Mary, buy or sell this new poster for The Equalizer?
I'm gonna have to sell this. To me, it looks like sad, like a sad meme, like sad Batman or sad Keanu. Like he's kind of looking off.
Keanu's always sad.
I know, but it's like sad. It's just, really, guys? Like this is what you came up with? I don't know. I feel like this movie is probably going to please the people that like these kinds of movies, and we've talked about this on the show before. You know, like this is a Denzel vehicle, and he's back in action. That's great. But this poster does nothing for me. It just does nothing for me.
See, I'm going to buy it for a couple of reasons. One, I'm excited about because I used to watch the reruns when I was younger of the old Equalizer TV show, and I thought it was actually a pretty badass TV show. Denzel is a very different McCall than I think what we're used to. But the reason I'm going to buy it is because, once again, I like posters that in one shot kind of capture a tone or feel for the movie. And what I love about this shot is you see this faceless figure off in the background, right? He's got a gun coming towards him. Denzel ain't got no gun and he don't even care. Like there's something so badass to me about that. It's like, yeah, come at me with your little gun and we'll see how you do.
I will kill you with sadness.
Yeah, I will kill you with sadness. So I really like it. To me, it's really cool. So I buy it. Amy Rose?
Yeah, you know, when I first looked at it, I was like, it's kind of boring. And then I really paid attention to the whited out tone and the guy in the background, very muted. And I do think it's really cool because exactly, like he's just standing there like, I have nothing to fear. And this guy in the background and the Equalizer. I mean, I really do think it kind of embodies what we're going to see. And this film's not going to be anything spectacular in terms of the plot. It's Denzel, and I am on board with Denzel. So it's going to be fun, even if all the cliches in the book are going to be baked in.
Christian?
Can I put it on layaway? Only because I've seen the trailer already. Normally I like to see the posters first, and then I can do the buy or sell with it. The trailer I'm already in for. It looks like a movie we've seen Denzel do 100 times, but it looks fun. It looks like something I want to check out. I agree with you guys that it's a cool image enough to where you see him, he's staring at the guy, and it's like, bring it. But because I've seen the trailer, it's not as mysterious to me anymore because I know what's going down, but it serves its purpose.
All right, what's next?
Tom Hanks has joined the upcoming Meg Ryan film Ithaca, which will mark her directorial debut. This will mark the 4th film that Ryan and Hanks appear in together, and the first time since their 1998 film You've Got Mail. Ithaca adapts William Saroyan's 1943 novel, The Human Comedy, and follows the lives of a Californian family, the McCuleys, as they live through World War II. Hanks will play the father of the family who, as the story begins, is already off at war. John, buy or sell Hanks joining Ithaca?
I buy loyalty. I buy loyalty. Megan hasn't, she hasn't had a lot going on, Meg, for a long time. And Hanks, he's also a producer on this film, by the way. And him being willing to step in, look, Joe versus Volcano, whatever. But I really liked You've Got Mail. I really liked You've Got Mail.
Sleepless in Seattle.
Sleepless in Seattle is like one of their classics. It will be really cool and kind of nostalgic to see them back together again. Still, do I have expectations for the film? No, but I am buying loyalty. Christian, what do you think?
I am going to sell it, unless they're fighting Rambo together. The reason I just feel that it's Tom Hanks being a nice guy doing a favor here.
Totally.
I don't know. I mean, I'd like to see Meg Ryan go and direct something, and then she gets back in the spotlight. It was
watch it. She's the next Ben Affleck.
Oh my God, Catherine Bigelow.
Yeah.
So if I'd like to see her be someone like that. If that happens, then I'm gonna eat a big pile of crow. So, I gotta sell it though because I'm not enthused by it.
Amy Rose?
I'm split on this because anything that Tom Hanks is in, I want to love because he's never going to let us down. He's an icon. But I am going to sell it because nothing in Meg Ryan's career has led me to believe that she would be an amazing director. And again, she could prove me wrong, but there are some people that just apply that in their acting or their writing or whatever, and you could kind of see it translating that way. But hey, if you have, the platform, you might as well try it out.
Hanks believes in her.
If your best buddy, Hanks is going to jump in, then, people are going to see it.
Mary?
Yeah, I'm going to buy this. I'm going to buy it because Tom Hanks is the executive producer, which means he's probably not as involved in the day-to-day, but it does mean that he's probably putting up or finding money for it or in some way involved financially, which means he believes in it. And if he believes in it, I feel like I believe in it too. To your point, I love Tom Hanks. I also think, Meg Ryan is not without talent. We forget that she was in When Harry Met Sally. She's a wonderful comedic actress. Yeah. She has great timing. She's been in so many movies over the years. She's seen how it works. So maybe she'll be good. I don't know.
That's the thing. Not all actors who have a lot of experience can make that transfer. There are tons of actors that try and said, I'm going to step back. I hope that that's not the case with her. I hope that this is her way back in, and maybe this is Tom Hanks saying, this is your way back in. I believe in this thing. Let's do this, and let's get you in the forefront. But it could also be like, hey, I haven't done anything in a while. I need help. And he's like, all right,
But this story is so specific. And the thing I like about it, too, is that it's a family drama, but it's set in World War II. And I like the idea of exploring that part of our culture in America, because I think it's a fascinating time. So it's not just like a fluff piece. It's like kind of heavy material. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to buy it.
Help me out here. Tell me if you agree or disagree with this. I mean, one of the things that the sudden and rapid downfall of Meg Ryan's career, because she was, prior to a few others that came along, like Julia Roberts or whatever, she was America's Sweetheart.
She was big.
And then she left Dennis Quaid for Kurt Russell. Or not Kurt Russell, Russell Crowe. And it almost seemed like, in that moment, America went,
Yeah.
You're not so sweet anymore.
Dennis Quaid cheated on her.
Cute, I know, but that sweet, cute girl next door thing, and then all of a sudden she left her husband and hooked up with the hotter star.
And you couldn't get away from a supermarket without seeing them on a paper.
And then it was almost like that image was now gone. And it's like her whole career up to that point was predicated on this incredible image she had built. And it's like, then we never saw her again.
But look at the film she did after that,
but do you remember the movie she did where she played an alcoholic with
where she did nudity for the first time.
What was the,
I know the
what was the name of that film?
She was a boxer promoter.
She did it. She's a manager. Trainer.
No, it was before
Against the Ropes.
That was
she did a movie where she played an alcoholic, and I can't believe I'm blanking on the name. And it was not Days of Wine and Roses, obviously. It was like that though, and her husband was Andy Garcia, and she gave an incredible performance, dramatic, dark.
When a Man Loves a Woman?
When a Man Loves a Woman.
That's an older movie.
Now, I think that what you said absolutely hurt her image too, but the other thing too is that this is a very fickle business. Age also hurt her career.
Oh, yeah.
So, sure.
And surgery, let's face it. I mean, this is the problem with ageism in Hollywood. Actresses feel the need to modify their faces to stay young, and I think it hurt her career because she couldn't move her face.
All right, folks, listen, it is time for us to move on to Mailbag. Listen, if you've got a topic or a question you'd like us to address on the show, you can email us anytime at amcmovietalk@gmail.com. Now, every day we take a couple questions from the Mailbag. Ashley's got a few of them pulled out, so Ashley, what do we got?
Bailey writes, I love AMC Movie Talk and watch it every day after school. I recently saw the news about how North Korea reacted after the trailer for The Interview came out, saying that releasing the film would be an act of war by the United States. Will these threats scare off moviegoers when they think about seeing this film, or the other way around? I know for me personally, this was previously not on my radar, but now I will definitely see this movie. Thanks, and keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, in case anybody missed the story, the studio will make sure you see it, because this will do nothing but increase interest in the film. It really, really will. And this whole, I mean, North Korea is it's like much other big bullies. They think they're big, they're not really that big, and they'll talk a big talk, but they won't really do anything because they know they'll get smacked down pretty bad. So I mean, the studio is loving this. They're loving this, because you're right, because I think there's a lot of people like you, Bailey, who maybe this has not been on their radar, and now it's on CNN, now it's whatever, and the studio is just jumping for joy right now. Amy Rose, what do you think?
Yeah, bad publicity is still publicity, and it gets you in the limelight, and we see this all the time. So yeah, I think it's just going to make even more money, because they're on a hot streak anyway after This Is the End and Neighbors and their whole team. But yeah, if you hear a different controversial aspect, people all of a sudden love to see that. And like, we see this in the music industry, in the film industry. People like watching hot messes too. It's like, not even if they're interested in that, they're like, oh, this is, you know, controversial, so let's go see that. So I think this is just going to help it more. And you're right, the studio is probably like, oh, have you seen this secretly from a third party?
Christian?
Hey, North Korea, if you want to stop the release of a film, how about stopping the remake of Red Dawn? You talk about a movie that you're attacking the United States. That's not okay. But I will say, not in their defense, but I like, if someone made a movie in another country about the assassination of President Obama, America would say, hey, wait a minute. So I kind of understand it, but it's going to absolutely. I still want to see the movie. I'm going to see the movie.
It's a comedy too. Come on.
But I mean,
would I get them being offended?
Sure.
Of course. I mean, look, if they put a statement, "Hey, we as a country are offended by this," I'd go, I get it.
Right, but you're not stopping it. You're not stopping
it.
And absolutely, like you said, the studio is going to release it, release the story. They're going to say, oh, hey, by the way, here's the movie North Korea doesn't want you to see. And you're like, let's go see it.
That's the next poster headline.
But the other way they could have handled this too is, I remember a lot, and later there was some backlash, but I remember Kazakhstan, like when the whole Borat thing was going on, like a couple of their government officials actually really did it smart and just kind of embraced it, you know, and they just, because it was actually, you know, they could have took it very offensively, and I'm sure some people did, but others kind of embrace it as, this is really funny, and wanted to.
My sister is number 2 prostitute in country.
Oh yeah.
It's pretty great. I mean, yeah, I think you're right, Amy Rose. Any publicity is good publicity, and you know, these guys have proven to make people laugh. Their movies have done well, and they, you know, I don't say this is going to hurt the film. I think it's going to do well for it.
Yeah.
Were people offended by Zoolander? Like, you know?
Okay, what's next?
The Malaysian Prime Minister.
Andrew Voigt writes, last I heard, the rumor on Fillion was that he would be Cosmo, but you had someone write the mailbag about seeing him in a brown coat. I was just thinking, honestly, he is old enough to be Doctor Strange. How cool would it be to see Fillion wearing his brown coat, sitting at a bar, you hear his glass moving around, and the camera turns and you see his hands are all bandaged?
Yeah, the first thing I would do is, how did he get into space? Would kind of be the first question I would ask. Yeah, this whole notion, well, look, it's really come down to 3 guys for Doctor Strange. The aforementioned Tom Hardy, Benedict Cumberbatch, and the third was Jared Leto. It's probably going to be one of those 3. If you had brought up Nathan Fillion, well, you could bring up Nathan Fillion's name to any comic book role and the fans will get excited. I mean, at some point, you got to put this guy in something here. The Cosmo thing makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Because remember, we had James Gunn, Kevin Feige, and Chris Pratt here, and I asked them about Cosmo, who is one of my favorite characters in the Guardians comics. He's awesome. He's a telepathic Russian dog. And this is what Cosmo, and he even telepathically speaks with a heavy Russian accent. He's awesome. And I asked, hey, did Cosmo get close to being in there? Could we see Cosmo? And Feige just said, you know, wait to see the movie. So that was kind of like, yes. I think this makes perfect sense. Have Nathan Fillion just as the voice of Cosmo doing something. That would be a really cool cameo.
What does Cosmo sound like, John?
I am not going to try to do his Russian accent.
But you know, I mean, Nathan Fillion has so much experience as a voice actor as well.
Yeah,
so it's
Green Lantern for a lot of DC
and
comic
for
films.
video games, I mean, he's a huge voice actor as well as a television and film actor. So, you know, I'd like to see him be a space dog.
He's not
a talking space dog, I'm in.
A Russian.
If Fillion isn't the king of the nerds right now, he's at least a duke. Like he's up
high
there.
up there.
Anyway, Christian, what do you think?
We actually, I put that story on my website. That's because we heard from a really good source. That's who he's doing it. And I wouldn't put it on the site if I didn't agree with it. I heard it from a really good source. So I think he is playing Cosmo, and I'd like to see him. I think that could be a lot of fun, and it also opens up kind of what Vin Diesel is doing with Groot. You can see him play another character because he's just doing a voice.
It gives him a foot in the door with the company, and now I can do other
and the
things.
fans as well.
Yeah, Bradley Cooper, same thing. Rocket. Like, I do think it would be a waste of his talent and his charisma to not do something else if he was Cosmo. But yeah, I think you're right. Every time we have a new role, like, who should play him? Nathan Fillion is always tossed in the mix because he's just wonderful. He's a great actor and he's so likable, and obviously, you know, the Joss Whedon days and everything he's done. So yeah, I think that would make sense. And you're right. When you asked Feige that, it was pretty clear that we're going to see Cosmo. So if I hear Nathan doing a Russian accent with it, I'm in.
I will say this: the one thing that might hurt him about getting like an on-camera role, stuff like that, is that the one thing that Fillion is not wasting right now is donuts. He's looking like Nathan. You know, I'm a huge fan. But you cannot be in John Campea shape and expect to be a superhero in the Marvel universe. Time to tighten up, dude. Time to tighten up.
To go on that, look at Chris Pratt.
Pratt is one of the most incredible transformations.
And he was huge before, and then he got the role, and then look at him now. So if Fillion gets offered the role, he's like, don't worry about it, I can fix it out.
The thing with Pratt, there are guys that are like really overweight, but you can tell under the 2 inches of fat on them is huge muscle tissue.
You don't think Fillion's one of those guys?
I do.
Fillion to me looks a little soft right now. He looks soft. But Pratt, I was going to say, Pratt was not one of those guys who looked big and was muscular under the heaviness. He just looked big and soft. And then a year of just building his home gym and working out 3 hours a day.
That's the thing. They also have like teams of people diet and exercise.
Exactly.
But he's also in his 40s. So I don't know.
Are we going to get a Fillion ab shot as well? Like, hey guys, I'm
Like
back.
that. All right, folks. And normally we take time for some Twitter questions, but we have gone overtime today, so we're not going to have a chance to do that. We will take extra Twitter questions tomorrow, I promise. So that'll do it for us, folks. Listen, lots of great movies playing at AMC theaters right now. Head on over to www.amctheaters.com for all your theater, showtime, and your movie ticket information. And listen, if you want an audio-only version of this show, look in the description of this video, and you'll find links to our iTunes and our podcast RSS, so you can listen to us on the way to work. And if you have not done so already, make sure you take a second and click on that subscribe button and become a subscriber to our AMC Movie News YouTube channel. I want to thank the people sitting at the table with me. First of all, sitting to my immediate left, Miri Jedikin. Miri, where can people find you online?
You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Miri the Jedi.
I still love your Twitter
Yes.
handle. Our senior editor of movie news here at AMC Movie News, Miss Amy Rose Eisenbach. Amy Rose, where can people find you?
On Twitter and Instagram at Amy Rosie. Thanks.
And of course, Mr. Christian Harloff. Christian, where can people find you?
Right here on YouTube, Schmoes Know, and keep talking movies with me at Christian Harloff on Twitter. A lot of fun.
And our lovely host today, Miss Ashley Mova. Ashley, where can people find you online?
You guys can find me on Twitter at Ashley Mova. Thanks for tuning in, guys.
And you can find me on the various social media channels just at John Campea. Thanks a lot for joining us, guys. My name's John Campea for AMC Movie News, and until next time, bye-bye.
Hey everyone, if you liked this video, click that thumbs up button and make sure to subscribe to our AMC Movie News YouTube channel. It's free and helps you stay up to date with all the latest movie news, as well as our daily AMC Movie Talk show. Also, make sure that you follow us on Facebook and Twitter to stay up to date with all of our special promotions, contests, and prize giveaways.